You want healthy, glowing skin, but with all the products, trends, and conflicting advice, it's hard to know what actually works. I understand. I am Dr. Tina Meder, a former cardiologist and specialist in the skincare development and cosmetic safety expert. I've spent years studying the science of skin. Welcome to Meder Beauty podcast, where we uncover what really matters, break down the science, and give you real expert-backed skincare advice. Whether you're looking to achieve radiant, healthy skin, curious about anti-aging, or want to understand what's really in your product, you are in the right place. Rooted in science and the truth about what your skin actually needs, we'll have in-depth conversations with leading dermatologists, medical experts, and skincare brand founders to bring you the latest innovations, evidence-based insights, and industry secrets that truly make a difference. We are so happy you are here. So let's go. Hello, Sarah. Thank you so much. So happy to see you. After all our amazing episodes, now I come back with a new idea. My first thought is about you. So let's discuss the thing which we discussed a lot together, but never discussed it publicly.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Traditions in skincare. What kind of beauty rituals and traditions we have? Did you have any tradition in your family?
When I think and what we've talked about so much in skincare is, of course, facial products. But the minute you mention this, I think of the rituals I grew up with, which extended to much more than just my face, right? My nails, my hair. I remember, especially in my family growing up, hair was so much more important than, say, like a 5 to 6 step routine. Like, it was very simple. Come out of the shower, make sure that you moisturize. Moisturizing was very important.
Tell me more how you moisturize your hair.
My hair and my skin, everything was about cocoa butter. Cocoa butter, I can walk by a product and I can smell cocoa butter. It reminds me of my childhood. Shea butters, rich butters, things that were really emollient the minute that you came out of the shower. But then after that, I don't remember too much more about like reapplying products. I just remembered knowing if you went to bed with something rich and moisturized, you would wake up feeling good. And you may freak out about this a little bit, but Vaseline. Vaseline is like a big thing if you had any sort of scrape or cut or if you were checked.
Believe me or not, but Vaseline is a part of the Northern tradition as well.
Truly. You see, I love that because it goes to show how we are also intertwined and connected. I can't wait to hear you speak. But of course, when we squeal at beef tallow, it's like your story of being introduced to beef tallow. It's just so authentic. It reminds me of my story with Vaseline and the fact that I would never tell my clients to slap some on now, but it was what we would use when we were in our youth. But hair, just it's so important. I may spend 5 minutes on my body and at least 20 on my hair, making sure that it's neatly combed and I'm gentle with it. And then I'm applying products in layers so that I have my lotion in my hair, but then an oil usually is the last step. My mother and I grew up getting our nails together because my family were healthcare workers or in the front line. A lot of
short nails, short, clean nails.
Short, clean nails. And your hands are just beat upon so often that at least having them feel comfortable. I grew up in the Northeast, so it was cold. And if you didn't have hydrated hands or something protected, you felt it. Like they were irritated.
And that's so painful. It's so uncomfortable.
So painful. So when I think of beauty and rituals, it was introduced because there was just like a discomfort if you didn't have it. Whereas now, of course, we have so many skin conditions and concerns we're addressing that still lead to discomfort. But like actual physical discomfort was the root cause to going to use.
So it was more about the health than about the appearance.
Aesthetic. Yes.
Yeah.
And then outside of makeup, then that's when you get into, I grew up around women who had beautiful deep skin, so bright colors looked gorgeous on them. So
I should,
you get into then the traditions of wearing beautiful makeup and bright colors. But again, the skin has to look good in order for those things to look good.
In the first place.
They were always really well hydrated. Hydration.
So hydration, it's a key. It's a traditional key to the skincare for the face, for the body, for hairs. Everything should be moisturized and hydrated.
Absolutely. And I can say this. I'm a Black woman here in America. We have this joke like, girl, you look ashy. So that was really, there was this telling sign of a person if they left the home and didn't put lotion on. It's like your complexion looked dull. It didn't have that.
What is funny, it's not about the skin optics, right? When we discuss this glass skin phenomenon, it's about the optic. Because when your skin is not moisturized or it doesn't reflect light, It absorbs light, and that's what you call ashy.
Yeah, that's what we call ashy. And then unfortunately, you have a lot of individuals that may have this like unknown inflammatory condition. I had a lot of eczema in my family. So it was like, again, pain, discomfort.
Yeah, unfortunately, the sensitivity of the skin and the dryness of the skin, that's very typical for dark skin types because the structure of the skin is different.
Yes.
And for me, I was always surprised when people think that white skin is more fragile. In fact, it is not.
I remember when you said that to me, it was just so brief, but as a professional, you anticipated me to know what you were mentioning, where it was like, white skin is so resilient. And I was like, but how? It shows so many things. I was like, but you're right. The way it recovers, how quickly it recovers, the fact that it doesn't scar as long, like that's what you meant by resilience.
And actually, even this easy visualizing on fair skin types, it makes the diagnostic easier.
Yes.
And it is behind this huge tragic problem underdiagnostic of the darkest skin types when so often, unfortunately, even skin cancer can be underdiagnosed until the very late stage because, first of all, medical professionals, many of them, they don't know how to look.
Yeah.
And in the second place, it's more difficult.
Yeah.
So you should be more careful, more objective, pay more attention.
Yes.
Doesn't happen all the time. With the fair skin types, it's very easy because you have the small dark spots. You see it immediately.
That makes complete sense.
So it's really unfair.
I teach clients, and even with myself, we have to be our biggest advocates, right? So really taking that time, that is the luxury of slowing down and putting that lotion all over your body and at least getting to a routine of touching and feeling your skin so that when something comes up, you're like, wait a minute, that bump wasn't
That's really clever.
But I'm interested for you. You mentioned Vaseline as something very common. I saw Thunder mentioning the beef tallow, but culturally, what do you remember about skincare growing up?
I'm from the big north. I'm half Estonian, half Ukrainian. But obviously, all the cold part of the year in Estonia, when it's dark, we have not too much sun. We have almost no ultraviolet. In my native town, I even checked out the meteor statistic. And actually, in my native place, we have 27 days of sun during the year, and all of them happened to be in July and August when I visited my grandmother in Ukraine. So I never see sun in my native place. And I assure them, okay, so we live like this.
Right.
And actually, if you've seen Fargo or True Detective, you have an idea. We are not so northern in Estonia, but still it feels very similar.
Sure.
So our biggest problem, first of all, it's cold and very windy. It's windy. I know that Chicago is called windy city.
It is.
But the wind in Estonia, even when I was in my school age, sometimes I should wait for someone adult because I couldn't approach the building I lived
Gonna blow away.
in the windy days. You're blown away. So I just, coming back from the school, me and my friend, we just waited. You can see your house like in hundreds of meters, but it is absolutely unattainable. You wait someone who is heavy.
Oh my goodness.
And so someone adult is walking around and we are like, please, Uncle Tom, take us. Right. Yes. Yeah. And the guys, they take your hand and you just fly after them. Can you imagine? So the skin suffers a lot.
Oh my God.
So our first tradition, it is the protection.
Okay.
And as in this time, in 70s, we didn't have, it was the USSR time, and we didn't have enough of skincare. Even in the more or less successful Western country, the neighbors Finland, they didn't have too much of skincare as well. Okay. So most of the northern people, they've been using very heavy, rich texture. And Vaseline was an answer.
Sure.
Because Vaseline was cheap, it was easy to buy, and we just apply the thick layer of Vaseline on our face, on our hands, everything. And we thought it protects us from being creased.
Yes.
But what is funny, becoming adult and working in the skincare industry, I became interested in the frozen bites as well, as an opposite of ultraviolet damage, because we are speaking a lot about the ultraviolet damage, but cold, it is very important factor as well. And sometimes I have an impression that we forget that millions of people, they are living in cold.
Yes.
That's not only sunny place.
That's extreme, right? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, other extreme, and we have different traditions. And there've been many scientific research performed in Finland. You'll be surprised. And it was discovered that actually the texture and the heaviness of the texture, it doesn't play such a role as we thought from the beginning. So all this stuff, I hated the beef tallow, which my mother applied on my face when I was little. And on Sunday, I went out for skiing, and each one of us been covered by the beef tallow, and we smelled awful.
I was just gonna say.
Just like, and felt like a little Eskimos. And it was quite fun, but actually, you don't need it.
Okay.
You can just apply the moisturizer.
Yeah.
Even gel-based moisturizer is equally efficient, especially modern moisturizers. They're equally efficient for the skin protection from the extreme temperature.
Yeah.
And another tradition in our country, it's linked to the tradition of sauna.
Okay.
Because sauna is our northern thing.
Okay.
Actually, we have sauna everywhere.
Imagine.
I have sauna in my apartment in Tallinn. Everyone has sauna in the apartment because it is cold. And it's biohacking tradition because it's regular exposure to the dry heat, short and finalized by the very cold shower. It's very healthy because it keeps your immune system really energetic, and so you're better protected against all infections. But in the same time, it's not good for the skin because you're constantly exposed to the cold and heat and cold and heat.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so rosacea and skin redness, skin sensitivity is very common concern traditionally. And so once again, we are using a lot of moisturizers. Exactly. Like you living in completely different region. But I suppose in my tradition, at least me, I don't remember about it. Any kind of body care didn't exist. Because sauna and shower. And actually in my childhood, I don't remember that I've seen everyone applying the cream on the body. And you don't have too much of occasion
I was going to say.
Take off. It's
exactly.
cold.
I'm like, your areas aren't exposed, so obviously it's not top of mind.
It's just legs and arms of people only in PA class.
Truly. That makes a lot of sense. Well, it's interesting, too, that you mentioned like the ultraviolet, because another cultural thing, we've addressed this in previous podcasts that I think of, it's just like never once in my household, in my childhood, did they say, make sure you put your sunscreen on before you leave the house, Sarah? And it was, of course, that prominent belief of...
Even you are young, so it's been 20 years ago.
And you're saying, like, I used to go on medical missions to Africa. We were not talking about putting sunscreen on. It was this belief that our melanin was enough protection. And there's still a lot of that belief in at least my family and in my community. However, the more we understand that inflammation from the out, the inside out is affecting us, it's then how can I create these lines of defense then? And another thing that I'm sure for a lot of people in the Caribbean, I have a lot of Jamaican family eating holistically whole foods, eating fruits and vegetables.
That's a culture, right? In Jamaica.
So it's very much so like, I don't need to put a lot on the outside because my temple and how I take care of my body is the way that I protect my skin. So there's a lot of those conversations in my Caribbean family, I can say, not so much my Black American family, but it's unique in that culture.
That's a unique combination. And you have this tradition mixed together so you can take the best part from each of them.
Absolutely.
Eating holistically.
The cultural conversation is we're all starting to acknowledge, I want to get closer to understanding who I am and where I come from. And then the more you lean into that, the more you find what's right for you versus just going outside of yourself and listening to this opinion or that opinion. And you create so much value for me, but you also understand all sorts of skin. You put yourself in 40 different countries to learn such a thing. Whereas you could just give us the Northeastern European way an opinion and that would be all that we could take from it.
I feel like I can relate because one part of my tradition is very northern, but another part is Ukrainian. And Ukrainian is very similar to Mediterranean. First of all, this focus on the healthy food. Like it even the proverbial, look for your health in your bowl. So you feel how you eat. And also there are how you look. You should look healthy. Your hair should be shining. And the part of Ukrainian traditions, you comb your hair 100 times every evening, every night.
Wow.
That was absolutely, it was religious practice.
Interesting.
Yeah, I loved it. And my grandmother, she started when I was very little and I didn't have long hairs. And she started to comb me just every evening, hundreds of times, counting it. And after she taught me to do it, and I couldn't fall asleep without combing my hair. And that was a kind of big period of my life. And I had long hair. And you just... I think that's, if not every, but many of Ukrainian women, they're finishing them, they just combing their hair meditatively and counting this movement. And so it's really useful.
That's funny. I have a friend who's Filipino and she has the same story. Like she has a very similar story. Her grandmother made sure they would comb their hair. And again, talking earlier in the conversation about like hair was such a big deal in my family. It was like to sit down together and help one another with your hair, whether it was your protective style or learning how to wrap it. So it's as easy as the way someone may feel about that pimple on their face is how that girl may feel about her curls. Like it's just our skin is an extension of us. And
what is about going gray? Because my family didn't accept it.
Did they?
No, my aunt told me, oh my God, can you dye your hair? And I was like, come on, then my hair, it's my body, my choice. And she was like, yes, it is your body. But do you think how I feel? Now my niece has a gray hair. So that
gray, and even a step further into hair and like relaxers was a big thing for me growing up. I remember helping my aunt put her relaxer in her hair dye. You absolutely could not accept anything other than perfection. And perfection looked like the most youthful, vibrant, straightest, easiest to maintain and manage appearance. Now, thankfully, we've gotten away from such an ideal and we're leaning more into our natural beauty. We're leaning into our natural textures. I remember growing up desiring to look like the person with the beautiful curls, but not understanding that took many steps and many products. I just assumed that person walked out like
sometimes you see something which looks natural.
It is not natural. So
no,
even that, like who's to say that if you want to straighten your hair every day because it's most convenient and easiest for your lifestyle, that's not naturally the way that you appear. Gray, though, for me and my family, it wasn't as much of a conversation as having straight hair versus curly hair, kinky hair, manageable hair. And that a lot of the times, unfortunately, comes from standards that they didn't fit me in that standard.
What's funny about the hair, it's like hair gives you freedom, because even in our tradition, for example, in my school time, it was absolutely impossible to go to the school without making this strict bun like you are in ballet or something like this, because if you came with your hair, which not just combed and hidden, every school teacher will just give you a notice saying, how did you care about yourself? What happened to you? And it's so strange.
It's so strange.
It's a sign of obedience. Then you should do something with your hair.
I was just going to say, our human nature to desire control. Don't be ashy. Don't have hair out of place. Have your nails done.
It's interesting you say ashy, and in our traditions it's dusty. Oh, you look dusty.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. I can imagine I was...
But it's mostly kind of the gossip sense, like, oh, she looks dusty today. She's tired and dusty. It's super.
It's so weird. We all have the same conversations in different ways across the board, I'm sure. That's hilarious.
And what part of the face is most important in your tradition? Eyes, eyebrow, lips? What you care more?
You know what I immediately just did is lips. I'm like, lips. Again, speaking to how expressive and thinking of my family, like we have big smiles, we've got great features. So it's, oh, your lips look a little dry, or, oh, that color is so pronounced on you. Even going to someone who's bold enough to wear red lipstick. I'll never forget the first time I wore red, and love you, Mom. I've shouted you out several times. It was so exciting. And my mother's like, that is not your color.
How it can be not your color?
Who knows? But I'm sure at some point...
You're a Russian girl for red lipstick.
I think an impression left on individuals is if you have these features that are pronounced, you don't need to do much more to announce them. And it's absolutely not. This feature is here for me to express and to show. So I would say lips, for sure.
Do you have some special skincare tips for lips? Something traditional?
Scrub. Like
how you do it?
With a sugar, with a sugar and like a little bit of oil. Typically, I'll use like a little olive oil and shaders, like really nice thick grounds, and just give them a nice little rub. Leave it there for a few minutes and then rinse off. They feel so smooth.
Well, it sounds great. Actually, you can do it.
Yes, and you have those things in your home. So we talk about obviously hydration, in my opinion, is like actually how much water you drink is going to make the biggest impression on your mouth. So,
And you did,
water.
and so it is in tradition too. Another tradition that not lips, the eyes, and especially eyelashes. Lashes. You should have long, beautiful lashes like a cow.
Like a cow. Oh, cute. Yeah. And what do you do in order to help with the lashes?
Castor oil.
Ah, of course.
We have castor oil, and also in my childhood, it was very common to put some kind, we've got this funny aniline disinfectant in the medical practice. They are forbidden now everywhere in the world. They're not so toxic, but for some reason they are forbidden. And we've got one of them been very green. It's called brilliant green. Aniline color, which is used for disinfecting scratches. So it was minor medicine, common house medicine. And also another one was Castellani color, which is purple. And so we put it like an eyeliner. And it was kind of kayal for health. It's actually after, do you remember this book, South Asian Beauty?
Yes.
Amazing, yeah, by Sonia Haria, the beauty editor of The Telegraph in the UK. I love her work.
Yes.
And it was so interesting because she's been speaking about kayal, how it is important in the South Asian practice. And I can relate because for us it was the same thing.
That's so cool.
But we did green kayal. And when we've seen first time this Indian movie, it was sensational.
Yes.
Every one of my girlfriends would just like to be Indian. Immediately we tried to put this kayal, and we've been so desperately pale. And so, and we just tried to imitate it. Because in our tradition, tan skin, it was a sign of the beauty. Golden skin, it's traditionally it's been seen like a healthy beauty look. So we tried it to catch the sun when we could. Yes. And we've had this special recipe. I remember the friend of my mother, she just taught everyone around her, but it was traditional. Vinegar with sunflower oil, or more luxurious, white wine with olive oil, but it was a luxury. Cannot imagine. So vinegar and the sunflower oil and mix it up. And in the first days of sun, this mix should be applied on the skin on all open faces. Sometimes it's so cold. Snow, it didn't melt it yet properly. And you just try to catch the sun to get this a little bit of golden color. I know how it sounds. Guilty, but it was a tradition.
I love this. That's so fun to look back on because I'm sure you're like, I cannot believe that I was putting vinegar and sunflower oil on my skin in the middle of snow, trying to catch the sun. But
actually, I cannot believe that makeup, we didn't have a proper makeup. It was difficult to buy, so we just steal these Christmas toys and just scratch them and put like eyeshadow.
Listen, the creativity.
And the red Christmas toy gives you such a beautiful blush.
Listen, if you don't have red lipstick, grab your Christmas ornaments.
And I was quite famous for making lipsticks for me and my friends. And we just steal the rest of lipstick of our mother. It's very old one. And when I tried to do it, I mixed it up and it didn't work. Because, it just wired, it wasn't good, and I went to the library.
Okay, and she learned.
I knew then you can find the knowledge about everything. And I found this book about the industrial chemistry. And I found how they prepare and make this industrial lipstick. Probably 10. I needed lipstick, maybe 11.
Efficient. I am in awe.
Yeah, I'm kind of geek. So I found this book and I discovered then you need to find cacao butter.
Okay.
Imagine yourself, you live in the very northern city, USSR time, 3,000 people population. Cacao butter? But I continue my research in the next weekend and I found cacao butter, it is a part of the rectal suppositorium for treating hemorrhoid. Cacao butter and lidocaine.
And you learned so much.
Yeah, it was such a learning moment. So I bought this suppositorium in the next pharmacy. I started to experiment. And because of lidocaine, it worked as a plumper. And in the next iteration, when people came to me with the rest of lipsticks of their mother, I just separate themselves like cold colors, hot colors, red, pink, and I did this mix. I put a part of hemorrhoid suppositoriums and a little bit of solid perfume.
Yes.
It's been flawless. We've got the best lipsticks ever. And our school teachers and directors.
Garden was born.
Yeah, and lipstick was absolutely banned in our school.
Shush.
Yeah, the lipsticks and jewelry and everything. And we did it anyway.
Yeah, a rebel from the start. And actually, as you speak, that's the fun part I remember about beauty is, yes, we had our lotions. Yes, we had our routines that our parents would allow us to do. But then there was the beauty and the fun of exploring and finding us like these other things that we could do. Like I'm saying, I remember the first time putting red lipstick on. I probably looked great, but I think my mother was like, you are too young to wear such a thing. This is not your color. No.
That's what mothers do.
That's what they do. Oh, that is so fun to listen to. And you actually just briefly mentioned adding it to your lipstick, but we didn't even talk about fragrance. And if I think of skin and beauty and traditions, what I can say is we never left the house without lotion. And the women in my family at least always had some fragrance on, whether
On the daily basis.
on the
right?
daily basis.
You've had some amazing.
Sort of like Mugler, maybe they were wearing Angel. Angel was so big when I was
I
young.
love Angel.
Loved Angel. Estee Lauder fragrances, of course, were so popular then. And that just reminds me of one of the first ideas I think I've mentioned on a podcast episode. I was like 12 years old telling my mom, I want to create my own perfume. Like
That would bring you to the industry.
And now we're to the point where I say I don't want any fragrance on my body at all most of the time.
Unfortunately. And I never created any lipsticks professionally. I specialize in skincare, not in the makeup. But fragrances, it's also interesting topic because I remember in my childhood, fragrance, it was something which you never wear on the daily basis. So it is exceptional. Yeah, it is very special events and you go to the theater or it can be some party or Christmas dinner. So everyone wear fragrances. And I remember this feeling when the home just filled with these celebrated perfumes. And obviously French perfumes. Have been most luxurious, most difficult to buy, very expensive. So it was a characteristic of the woman. She has French perfume. She's a millionaire.
That makes a lot of sense.
So funny.
That's really interesting. That makes a lot of sense. As I'm listening to you, I'm like, oh, that's so traumatizing that in my family every day was a special event.
Yeah, it's such a great thing. And you've been born and bred in the family.
Yes.
Then you can feel special every day.
It's like you had to. I speak to this often, but the resilience in my family and the people I service, you have to take care of you. And this was a part of you look good, you feel good, more opportunities come. There was none of this like leaving half haggard and not taking care of yourself. A story you told that just left such a strong impression on me recently is you're in the Ukraine recently for a conference and you're like, why is everyone dressed to the nines, their best appearance? And it's because tomorrow's not promised. So when am I going to do this? And I think it's beautiful that we associate this is how I take time for me. It's not about taking care, it's about taking the time.
It's taking the time, it is a self-care. And what is very interesting about beauty traditions, now I see very often people speaking about skincare or makeup or hair care, like about something superficial, because we are these independent women. We should not care about such a superficial things, but we should. And actually, men should care about these things as well.
Absolutely.
It's not about how do you look. It is about it, but it is not only about it. I think this traditional beauty and all these traditions from generation to generation in different cultures, it helped to keep community healthy and to stay psychologically healthy, to stay conscious about your body, to feel your body, do not ignore it. And I think this tradition, because, in the USSR time, it was largely ignored and they tried to create this tradition like everything is not important, only ideology, only work and everything. And it is painful. It's so harmful. It can damage not only the person, it can damage the whole community. So I think that obviously now we have much more scientific understanding about the skin. Makeup became advanced.
Of course.
And now, look at this. Makeup can be like makeup and skincare. We have eyelash serums and mascara, which help to grow lashes.
Yes.
We have foundations, which help to protect the skin.
Absolutely.
But it's still the continuation of these 1,000 years of traditions. And I think you should not feel guilty when you buy the body butter, moisturizer, hair care, makeup. It is part of our life.
Absolutely.
It is part of our traditions. And I think it's beautiful when you remember your roots.
Yes.
And beauty tradition, it is a big part of our roots because it's not only dances and paintures and some proverbs.
Yes.
Beauty traditions make the part of our generational wisdom, if I may say so.
I agree. And you briefly touched on it when it comes to even men, like men being a part of these rituals. I don't remember ever in my life a man pushing away like from lotion or using things. But as we evolve, I get men all the time. They're like, where's the men's section? I'm like, you have skin. It's here for you. So there creates this connection of reminding a person, you're human, you're a part of this too. And to your point, the connection that we create in these rituals and just slowing down for a moment to connect and share. It's so exciting when someone gives you a lotion that you're like, oh my gosh, I love the smell of this, the texture of this. What is it? So I agree. It's a beautiful way to stay.
Yeah, it is absolutely amazing. And I think we should share it. We should share it in the family. We should share it with friends. And please take 5 minutes for yourself every day, just in respect to your traditions, to slow down and love yourself.
Absolutely. Take care of your skin, take care of yourself. I love it.
And if you have any question, if you want to tell us more about your traditions, we are so curious, right? Let's discuss it together.
Yes, we'd love to hear about more rituals that connect. Thank you, Dr. Tina.
Thank you, Sauna. I loved it. It's so great. Thank you for joining us today on the Matter Beauty podcast. If you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an expert skincare tip. Have a question or topic you'd like for me to cover? Send me a message at podcast@matterbeauty.com and let's keep the conversation going. Also, you can visit matterbeauty.com and discover Matter Skincare, which I created. And if you enjoyed the show, I'd love if you left a review. It helps others find the podcast and keeps us growing. Until next time, stay healthy, stay glowing, and take care of your skin.